Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pairfect, the ultimate lifestyle show where we celebrate visionaries shaping our world. I'm Dinah Ventura. Today, we have an enlightening guest who is dedicated to exploring the connection between mind, body, and spirit. Edna Coliangco Chua focuses on fostering growth and self-empowerment by uncovering the unconscious roots of anxiety, trauma, and limitations. By identifying the reasons behind feeling stuck, she helps clients bring these issues into conscious awareness for acknowledgement and resolution. She guides clients through profound self-exploration using various methods, including guided meditation, abundance consciousness, inner child healing, and neural pathway retraining. So without further ado, let's welcome the insightful Edna Coliangco Chua.
Thank you, Dina.
Welcome to Pairfect. Sorry yung haba ng intro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so psychoneurologist,
Yeah.
that's fairly new to me.
Yeah.
So how did you end up with that career path?
Well, so I started when I was actually that's ano yan, parang current na, 'di ba? But before I started with alternative wellness. So
Okay.
how did I start with that? As a client myself, because I was having preeclampsia for my pregnancy,
I see.
and then somebody recommended that I go to this place that does alternative wellness. So
That's the healing house.
that's a healing house.
Okay.
And then, not yet healing house then. It's just a house that we go to for healing.
Okay, with alternative.
Alternative, ano.
medicine.
So what happened was, they asked me to come every 2 weeks so they could clean my energy centers.
Okay.
And then after that, every week, I would come na, and then eventually, well, when I gave birth, zero problems. Zero preeclampsia. Like, 38 and a half weeks with twins pa.
Wow.
So, talagang even my doctors
So
were
it
like, what
worked.
happened?
It really worked.
Yeah. So parang, tapos, and throughout the weeks and months that I was going there, parang I met these amazing women
Okay.
who's just doing this for fun, really as a service. And ang maganda doon, I know, parang I go for healing and then I stay for the cuentos and the kain. Kasi,
They became your friends.
yeah, because, ano eh, it's a space of, complete acceptance.
I see.
Parang whoever you are, you're completely accepted in the space. That's what I felt. So that's why I stayed. And then yun, so that's how my journey started. And then, I would learn classes, I would take classes and everything. And the last one nga was when I did my psychoneurology.
I see. So can you explain how that works? I mean, what is it about?
So what it is about is kasi okay, a lot of things that we do is about the unconscious.
Yes.
'Di ba? Parang most of the things. So for example, I did something to you, for example.
Okay.
And then your initial reaction is to block, 'di ba? Block me na.
Yeah.
So kunyari,
Defense mode.
Oh, 'di ba? Parang defense mode. So ngayon, kunyari na lang, let's make it easier. Kunyari you're riding a bike.
Okay.
And then you fell off the bike. 'Di ba yung trauma mo is like, oh, I don't want to ride the bike anymore kasi nasugat ako. So every time tapos nun, yung trauma mo will go deeper and say, every time makakita ka ng bike,
Takot ka na.
hindi natatakot ka na. Tapos mamaya pati any mode of transportation.
Yeah.
Tapos hindi mo na alam bakit. Kasi
Oo.
kasi usually traumas naman when we were young, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So may hindi mo na alam bakit. Nakakita ka lang ng, car or whatever, ninenervyos ka na. So that's the trauma.
Okay, so the
So,
unconscious.
The unconscious na hindi natin alam.
Really,
And it doesn't make sense, ha? Traumas don't make sense. It just happens. So those are the things that hinder us from becoming the best version of ourselves.
So that's what you target with your work. I mean,
Yes.
what do you try to do? What do you try to accomplish?
Sige. I had one client before. She had a traumatic event when she was younger. And she never had a relationship with this person because of that traumatic event.
Okay.
So she saw me one day, and so we did a session, and then a week after she came back, oy, guess what happened? This person that we worked on last week, all of a sudden just called me out of the blue and invited me out. to hang out.
Okay.
Sabi niya, what did you do? Sabi ko, I did not do anything.
Uh-huh.
You did something. Because during our session, you released this person from your space. You released the trauma that this person created in your space. And therefore, it's like it never happened. And so ngayon, the other person felt parang, uy, I'm welcome already. Kasi like, kunyari, if I hurt you, di ba,
Yeah.
you're gonna make a wall. So
Yeah.
no matter how much I try to talk to you, I can't because there's a wall.
Oo.
So when you released that trauma
The
from,
wall
the wall collapsed, and then I'm like, uy, I can go to this person. Parang all of a sudden, why do I have this urge to call you?
I
Because the wall is
see.
gone.
Okay. But doesn't sound very easy to do, no? Like, I mean, how do you work on a person? How do you help a person remove those
Yes.
traumas
Well,
or stresses or anxieties?
One of the
What is the
things-
process?
Okay. Well, one of the first thing is you need to be ready.
Okay.
Kasi, you know, these traumas are not really bad things. Kasi in my practice, there's no such thing as good and bad. So, yung trauma mo, it's actually there to protect you.
Okay.
So I actually had this client na had major issue, anger issue. And then yun pala, we traced it back to when she was younger, something happened, and the anger came out in protection of the child.
I see.
So, para hindi na siya masaktan, yung anger is always out. Kunyari, kakalabitin mo pa lang siya, si anger lalabas na para hindi na siya masaktan, 'di ba? And obviously, because nga it doesn't make sense, kakalabitin ka pa lang, susuntukin mo na kasi to protect you, 'di ba? Because nga it doesn't,
Reflex,
kasi sa
parang
kanya
ganun.
lang, it's like I just need to protect myself. And
Yeah.
no, however way I can protect myself, I will protect myself. So anyway, so when we traced it back to that time, she's like, I now know why anger is there with me. So anger is my friend. Anger pala has been protecting me since I was a child. And after that session, sabi niya, nawala yung anger issues niya. Maybe
Why?
not completely, but
Just because she was
just
able
because
to
she
talk.
was able to she realized that first of all, anger has been there. And first of all, kasi part of it is, syempre, kunyari, if I have anger issues, tapos nakaka-hurt ako ng mga tao, and I feel like I'm a bad person, di ba? So when we release that, first of all, you're not a bad person. It's just that you have anger issues. And your anger stems from trauma from when you were a
before,
child.
Yeah.
So now, you realize, anger is my friend. Anger is my protector. So now that I know that anger is my protector, and I no longer need anger to protect me from regular life. Kasi nga, di ba, parang when this happened, lahat na lang sabay na eh. Like, protects you from everything. But when
Yeah.
you realize na parang, wait, Dina's not trying to hurt me. She's just sharing with me her opinions.
Yeah.
So I don't need anger to come out.
Yeah.
So now, pag kunyari pataas na yung anger, anger, it's okay. Dina's just sharing with me her thoughts. She's not attacking me. We're safe.
Okay.
So now, anger can step back.
I see.
And anger does not need to come out.
There's so many people I know. I mean, you just notice it, diba? In people, like, there are reactions that you don't understand. Like, why are you reacting that way?
Yes.
Diba? So, those are the
Unconscious
kind of,
reactions.
Okay.
Kasi, there's a reason why we react a certain way.
Yeah.
It's usually because of a past issue or a past trauma experiences that's causing us to react like this. If I see, it's like the bull, diba? If they see a red flag, they charge.
charge.
Because they're so used to it already. Until you realize, teka lang, not all red flags mean charge. But you need to be aware of it.
Okay.
And once you start being aware of all your traumas, all of your triggers, then you can start helping yourself. I'm not saying that these triggers will disappear afterwards. It can
Yeah.
still trigger you, but you can catch it earlier and you don't have to have the same reaction as you used to do.
Unconscious reaction.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So at least hindi ka na makaka-hurt ng tao.
Yeah, tama. Okay. So, but your focus is also on abundance, or is that just part of it?
Yeah, it's part of it. But kasi,
That mindset you were talking
yeah.
about?
Kasi parang abundance in everything. Kasi parang I see a lot of people na parang they're doing well naman, pero why are they unhappy?
Yeah.
So And there are people naman who are just doing good enough and they're super duper happy. So where does that stem, diba?
Yeah.
So it's all about self-love, diba?
Oo
It's
nga.
all about caring for yourself, making yourself a priority over others so that, kasi parang we always say, kunyari imagine a well.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Sa probinsya dati, well. Tapos 'di ba tayo, we get water from the well, and then the top water is very clean all the time.
Yeah.
But if we keep getting well and not replenishing the well, eventually
You get to the
yung putik
bottom,
na yung
the dirt.
iniinom natin. So that's the same with us. If we are giving, keep continuously giving care for others.
Yeah.
Parati we're always taking care of others before ourselves. Eventually mauubos yan eh. And eventually you'll be giving dirty water, which you don't want to give dirty water.
Of course.
So, kasi, syempre, I mean, it's also unhealthy for the other person who's drinking the water.
Yeah.
So, what do you need to do? Replenish. Find things that you can do for yourself. And a lot of people think
That
it's selfish,
fulfill
diba?
you.
Oo. And a lot of people think it's selfish kasi once, kunyari, if I don't take care of you, I take care of myself, then selfish na ako kasi I need to care for
Ganun
others.
that's
That's
diba?
how we
That's-
grew up, diba?
yeah,
Na parang we
how
have to
we
take
were
care of
taught to
others.
think.
That's what makes a good person. But the thing is, if you, kasi yun eh, if you, for example, if you take care of yourself, kunyari, you eat 3 times a day, you're full. And you know that you'll never starve because you're constantly feeding yourself. And then, may humingi, tas meron kang tinapay dyan. Tas may lumapit sa'yo, uy, Dina, can I have your bread? Alam mo naman na you don't need to save the bread for another day because you know that you're
gonna eat.
the next. You're like, oh, sure, here,
Ayan.
take my bread.
Oo.
So, there's no selfishness there. Because if I'm fulfilled, if I'm full of love for myself, when I'm taking care of my needs, then it's easier for me to take care of other people's needs.
To give.
And the key is without expecting anything in return.
Yeah,
Kasi,
that's the key.
diba? Kasi if I give you something and that's my last penny, I expect you to return the penny to me, diba? But because I have 2 pennies, I can give you 1 without any expectation of return. If I have 2 bread, alam ko na isa kakainin ko, isa bigay ko sa'yo.
Tama.
Kasi hindi ako magugutom eh.
Yeah.
Kasi I know I have enough.
Yes. Ganda. So let's talk more about that. We'll just pause for a little break.
Okay.
And this break is brought to you by Bayad Center. Hashtag bigger, better, younger bayad. And you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart. Live more today. Union Bank. It starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Utol, once just a colloquial term for a brother or sister, today the same term stands for a better option to your transportation needs. Unified Transport Operations League, or better known as Utol, was established to give you an alternative to ride-hailing with the concept of availing the service with care and compassion as if it was rendered by your own sibling. Now, who would you prefer to drive you home? Uto, the ride-hailing app to consider.
And we're back on Pairfect, talking about neurology. It's such a tongue twister for me kanina pa. But you were earlier talking about a person parang that need for self-care so you can fill yourself up, so you can give others
Yes.
of yourself
Mhm.
better, or without any
Expectations of return.
expectations of return. That's very nice. I wish a lot of people were more like that. But di ba, in our society, I think it's really more common for what, women?
Yeah,
Di ba? Na parang we're expected to
correct.
do this, to perform this. So we're very, kung baga, we personify multitaskers and
Correct.
everything, di ba?
Oh, tapos 'di ba nauubos na tayo?
Nauubos ka and you don't
Okay pa
know
rin.
it.
Oo.
Oo. So, what are the first signs na parang you're reaching your limit already, and what should you do?
Okay. Well, if you can,
Mm.
starting today, already do self-care. No matter how simple it is. You know, my teacher before taught us, kunyari, sa kanya daw, every Wednesday, meron siyang massage from, kunyari, 5 to 6. And no matter how emergency, important, meeting, whatever, that cannot be
Sacred yon.
sacred yon. Not only that, it's on her calendar. Kasi daw, tayo, we have a tendency, if it's not on our calendar, di ba, parang, sige, when I have time,
Oh,
I'll do it.
you tend
I
to
can
move
move
things
it
around,
around.
yeah.
Pero sabi niya, because I am important and because I need this
That's a very
for my
good
quiet
rule.
mind,
Oo.
I need to I need to put this on my calendar. Kasi di ba, if it's important, it's on your calendar.
Tama,
So you
tama.
put it on paper.
Ang galing. Tama. That's already changing your mindset. I mean,
Oo.
about yourself, di ba?
Yes. And the thing is,
I am
even if,
important.
and even if, yeah, I don't really need a massage today, edi mag-mani-pedi ka or mag-cup of coffee ka.
Yeah.
Do something that's just for you.
Tell me about your own journey. Like, have you ever gone through that
Oh,
point in your
yeah.
life when you just had to do something?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I was telling you, diba, syempre, back when, when I was pregnant with the twins and I gave birth, hindi pa uso ang postpartum depression nung time na yun. Wala pang term noon. But I did go into a depression pala. And actually, I went to the doctor. And then the doctor gave me medication. Pero I'm not really not into medication eh.
Yeah.
Ever since I was young, I was just never into it. So I went back to these people and I'm like, how can I use this, di ba? And then so they started, parang merong teacher dumating and then I took a class.
Okay.
I took a class and after that, I started working with people. And actually, I'd like to share the first person that I actually touched. So sabi ko, sige, pag nag-work to, ibig sabihin, siguro, it's meant for me to do this, di ba? So I did, so it was called bars that time. Yung modality was called bars. So you put your fingers in specific points of the head and then it triggers, emotional responses or physical or whatever. So anyway, 2 weeks after, the client came back. Sabi niya, uy, do you remember me? I saw you 2 weeks ago and I couldn't walk. I had a hard time walking.
Okay.
After that session, I walked home. Kasi, it's not because I'm a magical creature, it's because your energy you just started flowing.
I see.
So parang, syempre parang naengganyo ka, di ba, when
Oo.
things like that happen. So I continued that. And nung December, bakasyon kami, I went into a depression. And then when I went to a depression, I'm like, ay, teka lang, the whole year that I was doing work with people, di ba, kasi when you do healing, you
Yeah.
also get healed eh. So
Oo.
your energy also flows.
Replenished.
Wala akong, wala akong
wala.
depression.
Oo.
Nung nagpahinga lang kami, biglan lang, uy, what is this? What is this feeling? This is not familiar anymore. Dati yun na. Yun, I realized when I was doing this work, I was not getting depressed.
So you're meant to do that.
So I was, tapos, and then you help a lot of people. Imagine mo, I was reading from a book and just following. So it wasn't even like anything. And she was able to walk.
Ang galing.
Diba?
So, my goodness.
Just by balancing the energies of the body. So I got very curious and I started learning. I started going abroad and attending classes. Sobrang dami kong inattend na class. And then I would bring it home and then I would teach it to people. I would teach them, ito yung natutunan ko, alika baka pwede natin magamit.
Okay. So, it's very interesting to me kasi parang when people feel sick or feel something, it's not always physical, diba? So it's not
Yes.
something that you can just go to a doctor and then
Yes.
consult and then
Correct.
you're given medicine or whatever.
Correct.
Some things, some conditions
Are-
parang require something else, a
Yes.
different kind of wellness treatment.
Yes.
So tell me about that place
Actually,
where people can go
yeah.
and seek help in
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
actually a very good question. Kasi, you know,
Mm.
in our practice, we believe that before it becomes a physical pain or, you know, issue, it's first an emotional issue.
Yeah.
Like cancer or even just, ang tawag dito, kunyari, you have yung issues with your lungs. Kunyari, kasi like, my mom, when my dad passed away, for 1 year, may hika siya.
I see.
Yung like, you
Breathing
know,
problem.
lung issues.
Oh.
Because of my learnings, I found out that yun pala yung affected by grief, your lungs, your breathing. Yan pala yung affected. So, after that, you know, we helped her, you know, she went to a nun and then she started, you know, receiving support from, you know, people. After that, nawala yung niya,
Yung hika.
yung hika niya.
Talaga.
Kasi she stopped grieving na eh. I mean,
Oo.
she still, of course, meron pa rin, pero it's not enough to
Yeah.
affect the physical body anymore.
Yeah.
Kasi a lot of people talaga kala mo it's all, oh, may ubo ako or may ganito ako, oh, because of, you know, the physical things. But most of it, most of your diseases
Yes.
are based on emotional issues. And that's why, like, di ba nga for me, Healing House really helped me get out of that. Parang, kasi I was telling you, di ba, parang when you're midlifing, parang everything, you're just unhappy. Not because of anything external, it's actually more internal. You're unhappy with whatever's happening inside of you. And this group of people really helped me get out of that space. Parang not bringing me out, but allowing me that space wherein I could be myself while I'm untangling and finding who I am and rediscovering who I am at this stage in my life. And that's why we did the Healing House.
Okay.
Kasi for me, it's really to support people, especially women,
Yeah.
who have no place to go anymore.
Diba? Kasi parang it's so hard to define that kind of condition, diba? I will call it a condition
Yeah.
because it's something that you feel. Maybe it's not physical, but it's making you imbalanced or
Correct.
whatever, anxious, stressed,
Yes.
or angry, diba?
Yes. Kasi
Yeah.
nga, di ba, di ba, kunyari, tayo as women, we were brought up na parang, when we were kids, kailangan sunod lang tayo parate. That's our generation. Sunod lang tayo parate. And then, when we're in our 20s, we work naman. And then, during our time, pag 26, old maid ka na.
Old
So,
maid.
you have to get married already. You have to take care of your children. So, there was no space wherein, who am I?
Yeah, so finding out who you are,
What
you
do I
are.
like? So, yun. So, parang this place, for me, it
Did-
really helped me a lot. And that's why we
how
really
is
devoted.
But
our-
how is it different from like people going to psychiatrists or no?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
For me lang, we're a different thing. We're a different space. It's like,
A community?
yes, a community. Kasi alam mo, in this space wherein you need to find yourself, it's easier to find it with a group of, with a community, with people that we're not gonna help you change, but we're gonna be here to support you so that when you,
While you are
while you're
working it.
changing, while you're looking for yourself, para kunyari madapa ka, oh, we're here, we're not gonna, we're gonna assist you, but your journey is your own. Kasi, that's your journey.
Yeah.
And we support you in your
Yeah,
journey.
that's a very good way of looking at it.
Oo.
No? So, kasi, have you noticed since you started with Healing House, a lot more people coming in and maybe embracing this kind
Yes.
of wellness?
Yeah. Past few years, siguro especially after the pandemic, na parang people are realizing there's more to life than this.
Yes.
And so that's what we're here for. We actually help you find what is this, what is the next step.
Yeah.
And actually, we're here to help you, not do it for you. We're here to help you. Kunyari, di ba? Kasi kunyari, di ba? Sometimes we just need pointed questions to make ourselves realize na parang, gusto ko to, or ayoko to, or yeah, this is, that's a different way of looking at things. So, more of like that.
Okay.
So, we help guide you. But you are your own healer. You are your own, you know,
Psychiatrist.
psychiatrist.
Oo nga.
Especially ngayon, dami na, di ba, mga online.
Kaya nga di ba? Parang a lot more people are open to the idea of seeking help. Yun kasi if you don't, I think if you don't ask for it, then you're gonna stay that way forever,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And in the Healing House, we don't force you to change. You have to come willingly.
Yeah.
And when you come willingly, you know, the change, the blessing is exponential.
Sounds sounds so positive. I like it. Pero you, before you became so committed to this, what were you doing? I mean, what was your job?
Oh, ha.
What was your passion? What was your
There was no
advocacy?
passion.
Oh,
I just, I had to work.
okay.
So I worked for the family business, and I had to do accounting,
Okay. Numbers.
numbers, and everything. And I guess that's why now people come to me for abundance coaching,
Ayun.
because sabi ko nga, it's not because of anything, but because I'm very, very comfortable with numbers.
Yeah.
So, yun. So, I grew up with that. And then, yun nga. Tapos eventually, parang, hindi ko na kaya. I'm not happy anymore. So, I had to choose to leave.
Mahirap yun.
Mahirap
siguro,
yun,
family.
especially family business, diba? I had to choose to leave and to do this thing, which is not really a supported thing back then.
Yes.
Diba? Parang weird or whatever. But I knew that this journey helped me so much in my own personal life that I want to share it with people. Parang, that's why I do it, actually. It's really so that I can share the gift that was given
To you.
to me.
Ganda. So, I'm sure a lot of our viewers would like to know, maybe you can try to give us some tips on what is wrong with people who are not making money.
Well, first of all, I was telling you, diba? Parang we have to change our words.
Okay.
Our words are so powerful. Diba? Even in the Bible, it says, parang, diba the word?
Yes.
It's so important. The word is so important. So, watch your words. I know it's hard, but eventually you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see so
A
much shifts in your space. So, sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, so parang,
So,
paano, how do you,
rephrase your question
yeah, how
now.
do you have an abundance mindset?
Yeah, okay.
Because normally, as we were saying, people tend to think negatively, diba? Even the words we speak.
Yes.
Negative.
A lot of people are like afraid of money or not comfortable. But the thing is, that's normal. Kasi we grew up in a space wherein people use money to do bad things. But the thing is, we are different. We can be different. We can choose to use money to be for good.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, money is just energy. It's just a paper. Diba? You can use the paper for good. You
Meron
can use
yung
the
mga
paper
invisible
for,
money ngayon,
diba? Yung mga crypto, diba? So, you can use paper for good. You can use money for good and money for evil. So, it's up to you. It's your decision. And the thing is, how do you get out of that,
Yes,
that belief na parang money is evil? Look for people who have used money for good. Kasi parang hanap ka lang ng example, and then once you're parang, uy, pwede pala. Then your unconscious will say, uy, pwede pala. So let's start now working in that direction. Kasi sometimes yung unconscious kasi natin parang, a lot of people are like, ayoko yumaman kasi pag yumaman ako, pareho ako doon sa neighbor namin na did bad things to us, kunyari. So, magkakapera ha, mawawala.
Oo.
Like,
it never
it never stays with you. Sometimes bigla na bigla na lang you get a windfall and then after that, may babayarang hospital bills. Kasi nga, it has to come out because you're not comfortable, because you don't want it, because the root cause is, I don't want to be like my neighbor who abused people because he was rich. So, realize, I guess step one is finding out what is your money story. Why are you afraid of it? Why don't you want
Some
money?
people would say, I'm not afraid of money, di ba? But
Yes,
then it's
that's
not
the
happening to them.
conscious
Oo nga,
mind.
oo.
But the unconscious mind is, kaya nga, find lang your, instead of saying, kunyari, I'm afraid of money or whatever, find your money story. What is money for you?
What does it mean? That's good.
Diba? Kasi once you find out na parang, takot pala ako sa pera because of the thing I saw when I was a child, when our neighbor, abused.
They were not nice.
They were not nice people. That's why I don't want to have money. So now, mag-iipon ako ng konti. Ipon ako. Oh, may pera na. Tapos every time, kahit maliit lang, may pera ako konti. Mayroon akong 1,000 pesos na pinaghirapan kong ipunin. Now, what do I feel about having 1,000 pesos? Magiging masamang tao ba ako? Will I look down on people just because I have this 1,000 pesos? No. Okay. So now, let's take the next step. Maybe 10,000. And then, after pag 10,000, review again. Sometimes, people might think parang, parang weird or whatever. But that's how you train your consciousness.
It's
Slowly,
really about
slowly.
training
Hindi pwede.
your mind,
Kasi
no?
pag kunyari, kung takot ka sa pera, tapos sinabi ko sa'yo kaagad, may 100,000 ka kaagad. Tapos you're not
Panic.
sanay with 100,000. Magpapanik ka. Bigla lang, okay. Actually, even ako meron akong ganyan. Kasi like, kunyari, if I win the jackpot,
Oo nga.
di ba? Anong gagawin ko? Alam mo, ang first instinct ko was, okay, I'm gonna give to this,
This, that.
they're gonna get, bigla na lang, hala,
Naubos
wala
na.
na natira sa akin. I mean, it's not real money. It's just in my
In your
head.
head.
But even I think like that because we all think like that.
Yeah.
The first thing we should do,
Conditioning.
the first thing we should do when we have money is to give. So
Yeah.
now, let's pull back
Okay.
and try to save money for ourselves.
For yourself.
So that also, actually, you're doing good to the community when you do that because you won't be a burden to the future generations.
That's right. Ganda, di ba? It's
Diba?
just really changing the way you think.
Yes.
And it takes practice and
practice
constant training of yourself.
and being aware na parang, okay, this is my view of money, for example. And don't judge. Yun yung one thing I always tell people, stop judging yourself. If you are like that, then you're like that. Because once you accept that you are like that, then you can change. But if you can't, kunyari,
Can't even
this is
accept.
mine, diba? So I can do whatever with it that I want. But if I don't even accept that,
Nasa
how
iyo
can I
yan.
change it?
That's right.
But if it's with me and parang, gusto ko pala soft drinks, I can change the water to soft drinks. But if I don't even accept the water, what do I change? Nothing.
Nothing. You won't do anything.
Yeah. Kasi I don't have anything to change.
Yeah. Wow, it's so enlightening talaga. I'm learning a lot from
Oh,
you.
yay.
Konting ano lang. So, but then, I guess we have to say goodbye for now. I hope
yeah.
to talk to you again
Oh, yes.
soon. More on trying to retrain the way we think, getting rid of those conditioned thoughts that's
Yes.
limiting our.
Yes.
Okay, so before we end, maybe you would like to say something to our viewers about what you do and what they should know.
Oh, well, me, I really just want to spread the word that there's hope. Just because, you think that you're stuck. For example, in depression nga, di ba?
Yeah.
Just because you have that doesn't mean it needs to run your life. You can get out of the depression. I came out of the depression. I'm still struggling, and sometimes there's a struggle, but it's okay because I'm aware that I have it, and so I know what triggers me, what triggers my depression, so I can work with it. I see it as a blessing. Maybe now, if I'm in a depressed state, maybe now it's just a time for me to quiet down.
Right.
So find the positive things in everything, that happens in your life.
Yeah.
Because everything is a learning. Everything is just a way to support you.
Yes. So, you're a mom. What is what lesson would you like your children to learn most?
You know, find who you are, embrace who you are, and be okay with it. Without judgment, love every part of you. Because even if it's anger, jealousy, that's all normal. But if you don't accept it as part of you, then how can you work with it?
Tama. And even the way we look at ourselves, di ba?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Parang, how you are made is perfect enough. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today,
Thanks, Dina.
Edna. And it's so inspiring to learn about your work at the Healing House, and I hope a lot more people will look into that.
Yeah.
I think it's one way to really help ourselves, right? Self-care. So, and how the Healing House truly embodies a supportive community, which we admire, for holistic wellness. So if you're seeking deeper self-exploration, be sure to check it out. Thank you for tuning in, and join us again next time as we continue to focus on the visionaries shaping our world. Until then, take care and embrace the journey on your own healing and growth. I am Dinah Ventura, and this has been Pairfect.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Alam nyo ba kung saan napupunta ang binabayad nyo sa Meralco? Dito sa series na ito, isa-isahin natin yan para maipaliwanag ko po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Joe Saldariaga ng Meralco Corporate Communication Office. Alam nyo ba na pag nagbabayad kayo ng bill sa kuryente, nasa mga 20% lang on the average ang napupunta sa Meralco? Sa katotohanan, nahahati sa iba't ibang components ang inyong electricity bill. Kumbaga parang pizza lang yan. Kasama sa binabayaran natin ay ang generation charge na napupunta sa generation companies o mga nag-ooperate ng power plants, transmission charge na napupunta sa System Grid Operator ng Pilipinas, na National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, at iba-ibang charges na napupunta sa gobyerno. Tulad po ito ng mga subsidies, taxes, universal charges at fit-all. Kung tutuusin, tulad nga nabanggit ko, nasa around 20% on the average ang kabuang bill ang binabayad sa Meralco sa pamamagitan ng distribution charge. Ito na ang pinaka-epektibong sistema para sa electricity consumers. Iwas abala ito para hindi na isa-isahin pang bayaran ng iba't ibang kumpanya na dinadaanan ng kuryente. Naway, nabigyan linaw ko po kayo kahit papano sa inyong mga katanungan ukol sa inyong electricity bill. Hanggang sa muli, ako po si Manong Joe, ang inyong lingkod.